Buongiorno everybody, this is Alexander King. Today we have a first for the channel. We're going to listen together to Bring Me the Horizon. Now they have a new song out, it's called LosT. It's a band that I'm not very familiar with, to be honest. Of course I'm roughly aware of what they used to do and some of the changes that they had stylistically as time went by. But I'm not really familiar with their catalog at all, so I'm very curious. I received a few comments and a few recommendations for this, saying that it was like a little bit different compared to what they usually do. Again, I'm not very familiar with what they usually do, so not too sure what to expect in a sense or the other. But without further ado, guys, this is Bring Me the Horizon, and the song is called LosT. Let's go. Straight into the beat, okay?
Oh no, he's alive!
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the... I'm not too sure why I found that extremely funny, but... Getting a pop punk vibe. Trying to understand what's going on production wise as well. There are some very odd sounds. Nice. I mean, it's My Chemical Romance, but it's nice. This part reminds me more like the... What am I looking at, guys? The video is so stupid. Like the more modern Blink-182 with Maskibo. I mean, this chorus is so My Chemical Romance. Wow. Again, interesting production choice. Like the harsh stop, just deleting digitally all the sound, those little pauses. I mean, it's catchy, guys. It's so catchy. Nice, like the panning synth as well in the background. Again, that sound.
The last one must have come from the bad batch.
It's very interesting. I don't see how someone that grew up listening to pop punk wouldn't enjoy something like this. It has almost a very nostalgic vibe to it. Again, as I said, it reminds me a lot of My Chemical Romance in the chorus. Of course, it's much more modern, and you can tell that it's a song that it's being made and produced today, like in today's day and age. And you know what I mean, like the production choices and the breakdown, which is something that's much more common in metalcore, for example, which is one of the genres. Like, it's probably the genre that I know, the only genre that I actually know something from their catalog when it comes to Bring Me the Horizon. So that's what I usually associate them with. I know that they did something that is much more in the direction of pop music that I haven't really dug deep into. If you have recommendations too, let me know. As you guys know, I'm always very open to check out new things here on the channel. But these had a mix of these two words, which I actually find interesting because we've seen in the last few years kind of a revival of pop punk, especially with the Travis Barker and all he did for that scene with his own label and producing certain artists like Machine Gun Kelly or Youngblood. In general, there has been again a revival of this genre that a lot of people love and a lot of people grew up with. And it's always a very smart thing to do something like that more or less 20 years after something happens. Like when there is a certain, how can I say, a certain music scene or a genre that is very popular and then it kind of dies down. If you bring it back 20 years later, it makes a lot of sense because you're gonna hit the nostalgic aspect, and you're gonna bring back memories and a certain vibe to people that are 20 years older when they were in their teens, so now they're in their 30s more or less. So it's still something that makes sense. Like they're still going to be able to enjoy that and go to the concerts and all of that. So it makes sense both musically, because of course it's a genre that people love and that it's a lot of fun to play and to write songs with. And also, you know, more on actual marketing. If I think head of a record label, like not mine of course, because it's a bit more indie, but if I think head of a huge major record label, it makes sense also to invest in something like that, because you know that the people in that age group also have a bit more of a spending power, you know what I mean? So it's also one of the reasons why certain tours have been so massive in the recent years, like the tour that Green Day did with Weezer and Fall Out Boy, again the Blink-182 reunion, which is basically sold out everywhere. It adds up on a lot of different points. That being said, this is, again, it's a very fun song. There are some production choices and some stylistic elements that are not necessarily down my alley in the verse. So there is a bit more of that modern day production. But I respect the fact that it's still kind of interesting. So they used some original sounds. At least it's not like very stock. You can't really say that it's an original song, again, for the chord progressions and the melody, and especially in the chorus, because that's almost taken straight from My Chemical Romance song. But the general vibe, again, it's very hard not to enjoy something like that. And as I always said, there is nothing wrong with using a chord sequence that has been used many times, as long as you add something to it, a certain flair of, or even if it makes your listeners happy, then like you have actually achieved what you were setting out to do. But I'm extremely curious, guys, if you're a fan of the band or if you're more accustomed to their music and their sound, I would really be curious to know how much of a disconnect this is, because again, compared to what I know from the band, this is kind of different, but I don't know much, and I know that they've played around with genres and songs and styles a lot during their career. Of course, they've become one of the biggest names when it comes to, I want to say, like the alternative scene. That being said, guys, if you managed to watch this far, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed and that you found that interesting. I do want to say, as always, that I just released my second single. It's called Tonight. You can find it somewhere around here on the cards or whatever they call it here on YouTube. I'll much appreciate it if you could just have a listen and let me know what you think. And let me know what I should be listening to next, guys. And again, your comments and your own input and your own feelings and reactions when it comes to this song, because as always, I really enjoy just engaging with you guys in the comments and starting a conversation about music. That being said, I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks again for watching. Bye.